Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Natal, adjective, of relating to birth, of a place. Native. Peripatetic, adjective and noun, peripatetically, peripateticism, peripatetics, traveling from place to work, itinerant, pedestrian, peripatetic, a follower of Aristotle. The groom's mother will judge a potential daughter-in-law based on the cleanliness and general appearance of her natal household. Once a woman moves to her husband's natal household, she is expected to side with her in-laws during times of political crisis or community turmoil. Once a woman leaves her natal household, her familiar duties are to her husband and his family primarily. Daughters require dowries at marriage and do not contribute to their natal family's welfare after marriage. The most daunting task facing the newborn hyena at the natal den is to establish its rank relationship with its littermate. As the day of birth draws near, her natal family sends a basket of bean noodles, eggs in even numbers, and diapers or belly sleeves to hasten the birth. And as the planets move, your natal chart, the time of your birth, shows the general outline of your life. Species and stocks that leave natal streams earlier may be favored over later migrating fish. Why in many temperate zone species, the males disperse from their natal area and settle at places where they do not mate. At adolescence, bonobo females sever ties with their mothers when they leave their natal group. Males, however, live their entire life with their natal group. As we once again approach our National Natal Day, there is much cause for celebration. The government's birth control and natal care program is itself causing the high infant and maternal mortality rates, which the authorities claim to be fighting. The idea of putting down roots is at odds with his otherwise peripatetic tendencies. No presidential advisor in recent memory has followed such a mysterious peripatetic path to the White House. That's all the confirmation anyone should need of the peripatetic family lore on which I was weaned. Of course, there are obvious peripatetic pleasures that most good walking cities have in common. They weren't sure that the multitasking and peripatetic First Lady could pull it off. The heroine is a peripatetic young woman who appears to have no connections to anyone or any place. A mix of war film, road movie, and romantic comedy drama, this peripatetic yarn has enough energy to keep your toes tapping. Her 14 years with the company is a long stretch in an era of peripatetic corporate careers. Mallory is used to a peripatetic schedule. Even when she was a child, her playground changed each week. In addition to the migratory herds, there are populations of hartebeest, toby, reedbuck, waterbuck, eland, impalas, buffalo, warhawks, and other herbivores living less peripatetic lives. A peripatetic military childhood ensued, one shaped and shadowed by the war. And climate change legislation, with its big-ticket implications for transit and urban development in general, is becoming increasingly caught up in the Senate's peripatetic politics. Real estate opportunities, 1970, a work generated by driving peripatetically from place to place, also elaborates this notion of passage. They share basically what a lot of young women and young men share in this age of delayed marriage and emergent adulthood, and platonic roommates and geographic peripateticism and economic prosperity and economic uncertainty. The English noun peripatetics refers to the philosophy of teaching methods of Aristotle, who conducted discussions while walking about in the Lyceum of ancient Athens. In fact, the history of writing about walking insists on a connection between walking and thinking, extending back in the Western tradition at least as far as the peripatetic philosophers who, according to legend, practice a method of teaching while strolling about.